Before beginning, allow the Phoenix One Step Kit to come to room temperature for easiest application. Do not apply if temperature is over 90 degrees Fahrenheit or below 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Optimum temperature is 65 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. At 50 degrees or less, the epoxy's viscosity will be increased, making for a much more difficult installation and extending cure time to 24 to 48 hours or more. This could also reduce your material coverage. Make sure you have all the proper tools available and ready to use. If you are resurfacing an existing system, you will need number 60 grit aluminum oxide sandpaper and denatured alcohol. And for all applications, you will need the Phoenix Power Blender, a 5-gallon mixing pail, and trowels, 4x 14-inch Marshalltown Extra Light finishing trowel, a 7-inch bullnose trowel, and a 2-inch margin trowel. If you're using the Phoenix One Step as an underlayment or base coat, you will need the Thixotropic additive, Phoenix Anti-Sag Base, available from American High-Tech Flooring Company. If applying the optional sealer, you'll need 8 or 10-inch red rubber window squeegees and a 9-inch paint roller with an 1/8-inch nap and an extension pole for it. For base coat application, you'll need a 2-inch margin trowel and a 7-inch bullnose gauge trowel and a 1.5-inch baby bullnose gauge trowel. Floor preparation is simply a matter of making sure all substrates are clean, dry, and sound. The system may be installed over existing vinyl tile, terrazzo, ceramic tile, quarry tiles, vinyl asbestos tile, and PRC-type flooring systems or metal flooring. Loose paint, rust, and scale should be removed from floors by sanding or wire brushing, or some other effective method. Then wipe the floor with denatured alcohol to remove grease, oil, and any other contaminants. Allow it to dry thoroughly. When resurfacing an existing system, clean and lightly scratch the surface with number 60 grit aluminum oxide sandpaper to awaken the surface for adhesion. Then wipe the surface with denatured alcohol to remove any traces of oils or grease. Abused floors and floors with excessive film buildup should be cleaned with a degreaser detergent solution and hot water. Let the solution stand 5 minutes, or as instructed. Use a floor brush to agitate heavily soiled areas and rinse with clean hot water. Repeat if any film buildup remains. Do not use any abrasive agents such as cleansers like Comet or Ajax. They will leave an ugly film buildup. Tape over any metal thresholds, equipment, and floor drains with 2-inch masking or duct tape, or remove if possible. Paper down in adjacent hallways and working areas to protect floor surfaces from resin spills and accidental tracking of resin from shoes. Phoenix One Step is packaged in 5-gallon steel pails which contain the color aggregate, a gallon can of epoxy, and a quart can of curing agent. To mix the Phoenix One Step, place an empty 5-gallon mixing pail in the Phoenix Power Blender. Open the gallon can of epoxy and the quart can of curing agent, and pour both products into the empty mixing pail. Be sure all of product is removed from the cans to ensure product consistency. Turn mixing machine on and let resin mix for about 1.5 minutes. If you are mixing on a finished area, protect the area with papers on the floor. Pour aggregate slowly into resin. Allow to mix for 2 minutes minimum. Move the mixing blade from side to side with pressure downward to ensure total blending from top to bottom. When material reaches a consistent wet look, it is mixed properly. When mixing in a cold environment, additional mixing time should be allowed to ensure thorough mixing. When using Phoenix One Step as an underlayment or as a base coat, add 6 quart scoops of Thixotropic additive, a thickening agent, which will expand the volume of the product, now giving the material a clinging capability to the trowel. With this additive introduced into the product, it may now be installed as thickly as required without any weep or sag in the product. Pour all the mixed products out of the bucket to expand the working time. Fair in all floor irregularities to ensure pitch of water drainage into existing floor drains and sumps.
finishing, you just use light pressure.
Underlayment material may be troweled smooth over 100% of floor surface up to 1 inch thickness or more if required. Allow material to cure for 8 hours at 70 degrees Fahrenheit before applying one-step flooring. For a base coat application, place mixed product on the floor 6 inches from the bulkhead. Use a 1 1/2 inch flat-tipped trowel and place the material tightly against the wall using the 4-inch finishing trowel as the height gauge. Or you can mark the height with tape or a pre-installed batting strip. Run the material around the perimeter of all wet spaces. Applied a thickness of 1/8 to 3/16 of an inch. Base cove can go as high as desired, even to ceiling level. Base cove can also be used for a 45-degree cant. Use the trowel points against the side and the floor to make your 45-degree angle.
What I do is I put one point of the trowel on the floor and the other point on the wall, like so. That usually gives you a nice 45. You run it right down.
The Phoenix one-step system requires no base cove when installed in other spaces, such as passageways, offices, sleeping compartments, and food service areas.